Universalist Church in Livermore. I am Reverend Ellie, and it is wonderful to be with you all, even if it is remotely. I know that this is a very challenging time for all of us, and that this is a new way of doing worship. Really, this is a new way of living for most of us. So I will ask that you be patient with us as we work through this new way of being together, like Paul said. For those of you who are not members or frequent visitors of our congregation, we are a Unitarian Universalist community. And that means we come together around shared ways of living rather than shared ways of believing. We come from all walks of life, and we worship together because we are founded in the understanding that we do not need to believe alike to love alike. As I think was mentioned earlier, you will be muted for the whole service, and we will ask that you stay muted until the end of the service. We will have a time for joys and sorrows later in the service, and I will ask you to write your joys and sorrows in the chat box at the bottom of your screen when we get to that part of the service. But for now, I want to say thank you for being here. This month's worship theme was supposed to be about wisdom, and it is an interesting time given that wisdom about best practices and ways to be together amid our time apart is changing so rapidly. But some wisdom does remain the same. We need one another, and we still have one another. I know many of us right now are afraid and feel isolated. But please know that even if you are alone in your house, you are not alone in this journey. Today, we worship how community can still be here for one another, how we will continue to live together, to love together, and bring about a better world. Thank you for the blessing that is you. Blessed be, and amen.
And now we'll switch to Leanne for the opening music.
Hi everyone. I'm going to play the Mozart Piano Sonata in D major, K311, third movement.
Thank you, Leon. Please join me as we kindle our flame, and you should be able to see the words on your screen. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Now, please, while staying on mute, join with Ben and Leela, our song leaders, in singing our opening hymn, number 1002, Comfort Me.
Hey, Ben and Leela, we can't hear anything. We're seeing the lyrics.
Did you not choose it?
I'm sorry, one moment.
No problem.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Sorry, I think that was the end of the song.
This is the time in our service that we share what is in our heart and mind, the joys that we've celebrated and the sorrows that weigh us down. I wish we could light candles for all that is in our hearts. After watching an Episcopal priest accidentally set himself on fire with candles during his video service, I've decided we're going to keep joys and sorrows fire-free. He is okay, by the way. At the bottom of your screen, you should see a box that says chat. And if you have something that you would like to share with the community, please type your joy or sorrow and I will read it in just a moment. We're going to take a brief moment for meditation. Please feel free to type your joy or sorrow while we do. Take a moment for breath. Feel your body. And take a moment to note your aches. Where are you carrying your tension right now? What parts of your body feel more relaxed? If you can, give some care to the part of your body that feels the most tense. Massage your shoulders. Change positions in your chair. Stand up if that's helpful. Listen to what your body needs in this moment. And focus now on your breath. Let the breath resonate throughout your body. And remember that we breathe in peace and breathe out love. I will now share the joys and sorrows that people have written. Our first comes from Helen, who shares that Kaiser hospitals are asking people in the community to sew cotton face masks. Helen is going to start making them and is willing to send tips to others who would like to make face masks as well, and will email the pattern. And if anybody has extra N95 masks from the wildfires, please either bring them to Helen's front door or give them directly to hospitals. Medical professionals desperately need them right now. I see a lot of joys, so and sorrows. Give me just a minute. One person says, I am grateful for this virtual service. It's wonderful to connect with community during this time. Rachel shares, my brother got married last weekend. The wedding was beautiful and the majority of the guests were still able to make it. John shares, looking forward to replay of Virginia winning the NCAA basketball championship on CBS after service is over. Audrey shares, I am joyful to be part of this community. Michael shares, Piper is home for spring quarter and will be attending UCSB online. Stephanie shares, the whole Fish family is home. Nathan arrived from LA yesterday, and the sorrow is that Swirl is not going to be able to sustain being open through this time, and she's worried about her staff. They are certainly in our hearts. David shares, we are joyful that my niece was born this weekend. John shares, grateful that we were able to get our exercise yesterday by driving to the snow and sledding down a hill. Wendy shares the joy that the respite of spending time outside alone with my coffee and the greenery. Jenny Madrigal shares, I am excited to continue to share music with the special needs children I work with this coming weekend via Zoom. Shelley shares, I light a candle for all of those who are lost and disconnected, especially MA. I believe we have somebody's sound on. So Paul, if you could make sure everyone is muted.
Will do, Reverend Ellie.
I just muted that person.
Thank you. Gretchen shares, I'd like to help with masks. What can I do? I have a sewing machine and can sew. Leslie Lemieux shares, most of you already know that we had to put our lovely dog Izzy down a couple weeks ago. We miss her so much. She was a gift to all of us. We loved her 13 and a half years with us. I'm so sorry, Leslie. Having a dog myself, I understand that love. Jim Aiken shares, my joy is that I don't have to wait for the end of the service for my cup of coffee. I understand that, Jim. And those are all of the joys and sorrows that people have shared. And I will share one final joy that I have already shared with most of you, but that I am expecting a little girl I'm pregnant with a daughter. And so Tally will get to have a little sister who's almost exactly 3 years younger than she is. She's due in September. These are complicated times, my friends, and it's hard to even know what to pray for. But my prayer, my hope, is that we remember to reach out to one another when we need help, that we remember all the people who are offering homeschooling resources, music, and other things free of charge, that we look to the kindness that has come forth to help us get through this. May it be so. Blessed be. So, as long as I've been alive, I've loved hero movies. Superhero movies, Star Wars, even apocalyptic zombie movies, where a hero leads a weary band that fights the zombies and leads the people to safety. There was a moral simplicity that appealed to me. And yet almost none of these movies began as a simplistic story. Only after the fact does it seem obvious that a system based in fear will lead to authoritarianism, or that rushing a vaccine could have dire consequences. And in those cases, I'm not actually talking about COVID-19. Those are the storylines that lead into the Star Wars trilogy and I Am Legend. And yes, the stories are disheartening in many ways, but childhood Ellie could always imagine myself battling tangible evils. And that was comforting. And I've been thinking about how frustrating it is that when the world seems to be falling apart, when life as we know it has come to a grinding halt, the most heroic thing I can do is stay home. It goes against everything I've been taught about productivity and about what heroism looks like. I imagine the helpers among us, and there are many in our community, feel another kind of paralysis, a paralysis of purpose, when all we want to do is lift people up and hug our friends in this time of anxiety. But we can't. Or for those of us who simply feel lost without our network, without all the activities that keep us busy and grounded, it almost feels like a part of us is missing. Because we are people of relationship and connection. As an extrovert, I get it. I love to meditate. I love to sing, to ground myself and express my joy. But I am fundamentally a person fueled by connection. I need people. I need my husband and daughter. I need my parents. I need my friends. I need my church. Hell, I even need my acquaintances. I never realized how much I would miss talking to the women that I do Zumba with, or the wait staff at my favorite restaurants. Nothing makes all those absences harder than having this great unknown hanging over our heads. How long is this going to last? Will I or anyone I love get coronavirus? The questions on almost all of our minds. I wish I could give you answers. About a week ago, I read an article suggesting that learning how to be more comfortable with small uncertainties would help us with the bigger ones. But to be honest, I'm having a hard time finding small uncertainties. When my daughter has a truly ridiculous temper tantrum, a tantrum I probably would have laughed at a month ago, I can't help but worry about how all this anxiety is clearly impacting her and wonder whether it will have lasting consequences. As Unitarian Universalists, you'd think we'd be experienced enough in uncertainty to the big questions that it would help us in times of crisis like this. But in many ways, the big questions that we're most uncertain about are the intangibles. We tend to look to the tangibles, to this world, to our sense of agency. And for many of us, I think what's most frightening is that it feels like our agency has been taken from us. But here is where I want to share the good news that it hasn't. In every hero movie I mentioned to you, wild things were happening well beyond the hero's control. But they chose not to despair, to never lose heart. They chose to put each other first and care for the band of good souls fighting back. They chose faith in goodness, even if it wasn't apparent. And they chose to focus on what they could do. They chose those things precisely because they had experienced despair and thought about giving up. But emotional presence means naming our fears, naming our grief, naming how lost we feel, and not shaming ourselves for it. Because this is how we move through it. We cry when we need to cry. We take laughter breaks and look up silly things like damnyouautocorrect.com. We call a friend and let ourselves vent. And then we breathe and remember what it is we can do. We remember that we're in this wild journey together and that we are our own band of heroes, coming together to remember that goodness that is out there, and then to be the goodness. Because being a hero right now is buying groceries for someone who can't risk going to the grocery store. It's calling someone that you're worried about. and letting them know you're there for them and that you love them. Being a hero is asking for help and saying when you need the aid of others to help you get out of your own head, because you are modeling emotional self-care for all of us. Being a hero is coming together over Zoom to say we haven't given up on community, and deciding that our connection goes beyond shared physical space. I don't know what the months ahead will look like, but I do know that our community and our love for one another is strong enough that we will persevere. Our hope lies in the new kind of community that we will be building in the months to come. Starting on Monday, we'll have fellowship over Zoom every day at 4:30. And next week, I'll be teaching a class on self-understanding and how different personalities navigate stress. Our team of volunteers who are offering to help with technology and help with groceries are nothing short of inspirational. This is why I know that we already are heroes, because I see it in the care that you give one another every day. We're still going to gather. We're still going to grow together. And we're still going to spread love in this world. We may be isolated, but don't give up hope, because you're not alone. And together, we will lead with love. Blessed be, and amen.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Today's gift of music is a song called One Foot Lead with Love. It's written by Melanie DeMore, a composer in Oakland, and it's for all of us to sing together. Now, there's a refrain, and then there are verses, and I want to sing the refrain for you once so you get an idea of that. And it goes like this. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. So there's the refrain. And the verses are call and response. So if I were to sing, don't give up hope, then you sing, don't give up hope. Okay? And we'll go back and forth on that. Then we'll do a refrain and verses. And finally, we get to the end. And at the end, we repeat the last line. And I'm going to count that down. 3, and then we sing the last line, sing the last line again, sing the last line again, and then the last time is right there. Okay? So here we go. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared, and I'm scared too, but here I am, right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. Nice job, everyone.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Normally, during our service, we pass the basket to donate money both for ourselves and for another organization. Right now, the organization is Tri-Valley Haven, and they need the donations now more than ever. You should see on your screen that if you go to our website, there is a direct link under Donate, where you can donate to Tri-Valley Haven. Their services will be saving lives right now, so please give what you can. And as another reminder, we are just about finishing our pledge campaign. I know it's been a wild month, but we do still need the money in order to operate. So if you haven't yet made a pledge, you can do so online, and you can call Charlie Bennett or Sharon Pekarsky for help if you'd like someone to walk you through the online process. Thank you for your gifts. I know these are uncertain times, and we understand that. Whatever you can afford, we are grateful for it. And now, please join Leela and Ben again for our closing hymn, number 1015, I Know I Can.
Okay, I think we have it right this time. Again, please keep yourselves on mute.
Let's sing along.
Yes, sing along with us. The days dark with storms and burdens weigh my heart. The troubles wait at every turn. I know I can't go on. When sorrows heal my soul and burdens make me strong, the troubles wait at every turn. I know I can't go on. My sister in my heart and brothers in my song. The can go on. And though the journey is long, the destination is near. The troubles wait at every turn. I know I can go on. So brothers, take my hand, and sisters, sing my song. When hope waits by every turn, I know we will go on.
Thank you, Ben and Leela. Please join me as we extinguish our flame. The words should be on your screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Dear ones, I know these are challenging times, but you aren't alone. And your presence with us here today makes you a hero in my mind. Thank you for bringing your whole self to this new platform. We will continue to be a community because it's not about the space, it's about the people. And I know UUCIL, and we are a community of love, support, and fellowship. After we sing our sung benediction, we will break out into groups of 5 for social connection. Check in with one another. Let yourself be vulnerable, because we're all feeling vulnerable right now. You aren't alone, and you are truly loved for everything that you are. Blessed be, and amen. Now please join Ben and Leela as we sing our sung benediction number 1010, We Give Thanks.
We're sorry that we only have the first 2 pages, but I think we'll be okay.
Precious day, we're all gathered here,
Far away, for this time we share
with love and care.
Oh, we
Give thanks
for this precious day.
Oh, we give thanks
For this precious day, we're all gathered here, far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Thank you, everyone. You are now welcome to unmute yourself as we are going to break out into groups so that we can talk to one another.